The moment the message blinked across my screen, my pulse fractured into a staccato rhythm. "You're being crazy," she typed, but her words dissolved into a pale echo as I noticed the tab still open, cursor blinking like a heartbeat she had forgotten to close. Rain spattered against my window, each drop a tiny percussion on the glass, matching the tremor in my hands. My room smelled faintly of coffee and old papers, the warm light of the desk lamp creating long shadows that crept across the floor like cautious predators. Could she have really meant it? Or was there something else lingering in the pixels she didn't intend for me to see? The glow of the monitor painted my face in unnatural blues and greens, revealing every tight line of anxiety I tried to hide from the empty apartment. Every instinct screamed look closer, yet a part of me wanted to turn away. What secrets had she left dangling in that half-closed window? Would you forgive someone if the truth was worse than the lie? Ethan's mind raced as he scrolled through the chat, his heartbeat echoing like a drum in his skull. Each unopened tab felt like a door to a room he shouldn't enter, yet couldn't resist. The forgotten window was a trap, teasing him with its silence, daring him to look deeper. Shadows of the past tangled with present fears, every line of text now a possible confession. Could Maya have left a message she didn't want him to see? The air thickened, the smell of rain and old coffee merging with the metallic scent of anticipation. Every instinct screamed danger, but his curiosity gnawed like fire at dry wood, relentless. What would he discover if he crossed the line? His eyes flicked to the taskbar, then back to the chat. The cursor pulsed like a heartbeat, each blink synchronizing with his rising pant. He imagined her laughing at him, oblivious, her finger hovering over send, but never pressing it. His thoughts spiraled. Had she really typed it in anger, or was there something she was hiding? A truth left dangling for him to unravel. The apartment seemed to shrink, walls leaning in with judgment. Every creak of the floorboard sounded like a warning, each drop of rain tapping in Morse code. He couldn't stop himself. This half-open window had become a mirror to his obsession, reflecting fears he didn't dare name. A sudden notification startled him, a ping from another app, but all he saw was Maya's blinking cursor, frozen mid-sentence. His chest tightened, fingers trembling as he hovered above the keyboard. The air smelled of ozone, rain mixing with the faint metallic tang of his nerves. He whispered to himself, what if betrayal was the only way to survive? Every instinct warned him to close the window, yet every ounce of curiosity chained him to the screen. The apartment felt alive, the shadows bending toward him, the rain tapping an impatient rhythm. He imagined her on the other side of the city, unaware, and yet somehow entwined with him in a thread of tension that was taut and ready to snap. The screen flickered, a shadow crossing the chat window as if the room itself exhaled. Ethan leaned closer, breath fogging the glass of the screen. He could almost hear her typing, each key stroke a whisper he wasn't meant to hear. The forgotten window had become a portal into secrets he hadn't earned but couldn't resist. The coffee had gone cold, rain drummed harder, and the world beyond his apartment blurred into insignificance. Would he step back, or let the obsession pull him into the unknown? The question lingered, hanging in the electric air, taut and irresistible, a challenge he couldn't ignore. Ethan couldn't shake the image of the blinking cursor. Every time he closed his eyes, it pulsed behind his eyelids, a hypnotic reminder of the forgotten message. He pored over past conversations, hunting for patterns, searching for hidden meanings in every word Maya had typed. The city outside hummed with rain and distant traffic, indifferent to his spiraling thoughts. Every time a notification popped, his heart raced, and every shadow in the apartment seemed to stretch and twist toward him. The night was alive, almost conspiratorial, whispering truths he wasn't ready to hear but couldn't escape. His obsession was no longer just curiosity. It was a storm threatening to consume him. The next day, Ethan walked through the city streets, soaked by drizzle, yet unable to tear his gaze from his phone. Every message, every notification was a potential clue. His thoughts circled Maya, her words, her smile. What she really meant, what she might have hidden. The cold seeped into his bones, but curiosity burned hotter. A relentless ember he couldn't extinguish. Would confronting her bring clarity, or plunge him further into a maze of doubt? Every passerby felt like a shadow of the truth he sought, a mirror to his obsession. Back in his apartment, Ethan scrolled again, the rain now pounding against the window like a frantic warning. Each message from Maya seemed loaded with hidden intention, every pause a cliffhanger. The apartment felt tighter, walls closing in as his mind unraveled the possibilities. He wondered if she knew he had noticed the forgotten window, if it was a trap or an accident. Each second stretched, each thought spiraled, and the line between reality and obsession blurred. He was caught in a loop, and the pulse of the blinking cursor haunted him relentlessly. A notification chimed, sharp and jarring. Ethan's breath caught. The half-forgotten window had become a trapdoor into uncertainty. He hovered over the message thread, reading and rereading each word. His apartment smelled of damp rain and stale coffee, his heartbeat echoing in his ears. He imagined Maya's reactions, her laughter, her irritation, and even the possibility of secrets she had never intended to share. Each thought tightened the knot of obsession, pulling him toward decisions he wasn't ready to make. Could he confront her, or was he too deep to turn back? Night fell heavier, shadows pooling in corners. Ethan stared at the screen until the glow burned his eyes. Each forgotten chat window, each blinking cursor, was now a reflection of his own anxieties. He imagined every possible outcome, confrontation, betrayal, revelation, and felt a tight coil of dread in his stomach. The storm outside matched the one in his mind, relentless and unyielding. One question haunted him. If the truth was revealed, could their fragile connection survive, or would it shatter like glass under pressure? Ethan's phone buzzed again, making him flinch. His fingers hovered over the screen, hesitant and trembling. He couldn't tell if his heartbeat was from excitement or fear. Every unread message was a riddle, every notification a puzzle he couldn't stop solving. Maya's words haunted him like echoes, lingering in the empty apartment. The rain outside had slowed to a drizzle, but inside, the storm of his thoughts raged unchecked. What was she hiding? And had she always intended for him to see his glimpse of herself? He wondered if confronting her would bring relief, or a revelation he wasn't ready for. Would betrayal be the only way to understand her? He replayed her last words in his mind. "You're being crazy." They felt both accusatory and cryptic. Every memory of her, her smile, her laughter, her quiet moments, now carried an edge of uncertainty. Ethan paced the apartment, hands running through his hair, unable to release the tension coiling his chest. Each glance at the chat window made him shiver. The apartment had become a cage for his thoughts, the walls pressing closer with every passing second. Could she truly be unaware of the power she held over him? Or had she deliberately left him dangling in suspense? The forgotten chat window seemed alive now, blinking as if breathing. Ethan leaned closer, his forehead nearly touching the screen, reading every word with obsessive precision. The room smelled faintly of coffee and damp paper. He imagined Maya on the other side, unaware of his scrutiny, maybe laughing or maybe hiding something darker. His pulse thumped in sync with the cursor, a rhythm he couldn't escape. The line between reality and paranoia blurred. He wondered if he would ever see her the same way again. The question gnawed at him. What if the truth was worse than the lie? Suddenly a notification popped from another app, snapping him out of his trance. His chest heaved. He had imagined confrontation, imagined explanations, but now reality hung in the air, electric and unforgiving. He stared at Maya's blinking cursor, feeling a strange mixture of dread and longing. Every instinct screamed to close the window, to step back, but obsession rooted him to the spot. He could feel time stretching, every second thick with anticipation. The forgotten chat was no longer just a window. It was a doorway into a truth he feared, yet craved. The night deepened, silence heavy, except for the distant hum of city, traffic, and the soft patter of rain. Ethan stared at the chat window until his eyes burnt. He felt like he was staring into a mirror of his own fears, seeing both himself and her in the glow. Every message she had left was now a key, or a trap. One question loomed over him, pulsing with unrelenting intensity. If he pressed send, if he confronted her, would he discover love, betrayal, or something he wasn't ready to face? The cursor blinked, impatient and teasing, as though daring him to act. Ethan sat frozen, staring at the blinking cursor, as though it held the answer to a question he hadn't yet dared to ask. His apartment felt smaller, shadows crawling along the walls, twisting around the edges of his vision. Each sound, the hum of the city, the patter of rain, the creak of his chair, felt amplified, conspiratorial. He imagined Maya, unaware of how deeply he was watching, typing her next message, oblivious to the storm he had created in his own mind. His hands trembled, hovering over the keyboard as he debated whether to close the window or dive deeper into the abyss. Every instinct screamed danger, but curiosity had a grip he could not escape. What truths lay in those blinking pixels, waiting for him to discover? The phone buzzed again, sharp and intrusive, cutting through his thoughts. Ethan's pulse raced. He imagined Maya, laughing, annoyed, or maybe hiding something she didn't want him to know. Every message felt loaded, every silence ominous. His apartment felt less like a safe haven, and more like a cage built by obsession, the walls pressing in as he tried to breathe. Could he step back, or was he already too deep? A prisoner to the half-open window she had left behind. His mind raced, wondering if confronting her would release the truth, or shatter the fragile connection he clung to. Every blink of the cursor felt like a countdown. Ethan leaned forward, tension coiling in his shoulders, imagining Maya typing words that might expose secrets or ignite conflict. The room smelled of rain and coffee, the air heavy with anticipation. He could feel his heart beat in his temples, loud enough to drown out reason. Could a single message change everything? Or had the line between obsession and reality already blurred beyond recognition? He hesitated, a question clawing at him. Was he ready to face what he might find, or would curiosity destroy him first? A soft chime echoed, breaking the heavy silence. Ethan froze, staring at the notification as if it were a detonator. Every thought of Maya, her smile, her words, her hidden motives, collided in a storm he could not contain. The apartment's shadows stretched unnaturally, the rain tapping out a frantic rhythm. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, a heartbeat away from action. One misstep, one click, and the truth might finally surface. Could he handle it? Could he survive the revelation? Each second dragged, each blink of the cursor daring him to act, mocking him with the weight of possibility. The cursor blinked relentlessly, a pulse in the dark. Ethan felt the weight of every choice, every unspoken word between him and Maya. His chest tightened, the room spinning subtly as anticipation and fear collided. Could he confront her? Could he uncover the hidden truth, or would the revelation destroy everything he thought he knew? He leaned back, hands trembling, caught between obsession and reality. The rain outside slowed, leaving a quiet echo, as though the world itself was holding its breath. One question hung in the air. When the window finally closed, what would remain? Ethan's hands hovered over the keyboard, trembling with a mix of fear and anticipation. The rain had stopped outside, leaving a wet sheen on the streets that reflected faint city lights. Maya appeared in the small video thumbnail on his screen, her expression calm, unreadable, yet somehow carrying the weight of unspoken truths. Every word she had ever typed, every pause, now seemed layered with hidden meaning. Ethan felt trapped between wanting to confront her and fearing the consequences. What had she left behind in that forgotten window? The thought made his chest tighten. A knot of dread and curiosity tightening further. Could he uncover her secret without losing himself in the process? A sudden ping made Ethan jump. A new message had appeared from Maya, and for a moment, he couldn't breathe. He stared, unsure if he was ready to see her words. The apartment felt suffocating, each shadow a reminder of his obsession. He imagined the worst and the best simultaneously. Truth, lies, betrayal, forgiveness. And realized he could not turn away now. The forgotten window had pulled him into a web. He could no longer escape. One misstep, one impulsive action, and everything could shatter. His fingers itched to type, yet hesitation rooted him to the spot. Ethan's breath quickened as he noticed a file open in another tab. One he hadn't seen before. A name flashed Maya attached to a document he wasn't meant to read. His heart raced. The apartment suddenly too silent, the weight of anticipation pressing down on him. He felt as if the walls themselves were watching, the rain-soaked streets outside, reflecting a distorted version of reality. One click could change everything. Reveal her truth, or destroy the fragile trust they still shared. He hesitated, the cursor hovering above the file, every second stretching into an eternity. Could he face what he might find, or would curiosity betray him first? The file opened. Words scrolled across the screen. Confessions, memories, admissions, each line hitting Ethan like a blow. Maya was not who he thought she was. The image in the video thumbnail now felt like a mask. His mind raced, the apartment spinning slightly as adrenaline coursed through him. Every detail he had obsessively tracked. The half-open window, the forgotten messages, now seemed intentional. A breadcrumb trail, leading to this revelation. Betrayal, curiosity, love, fear, all collided inside him. Could he confront her, or would the truth destroy everything? Ethan sat back, trembling, the screen's glow casting sharp lines across his face. The document revealed more than words. It revealed intentions, secrets, and a side of Maya he had never imagined. The forgotten chat window had become a portal to a reality he wasn't ready for, and yet he could not look away. The rain had stopped completely, leaving a heavy, humid silence in its wake. Every instinct screamed retreat, yet every fiber of his being demanded understanding. One question echoed louder than any other. Now that he knew, could he ever go back? Ethan's hands shook as he stared at the screen, the weight of Maya's confessions pressing down on him like a physical force. His apartment felt smaller, the walls closing in, every shadow exaggerated by the dim lamp. The city outside was quiet, the rain gone, leaving the streets glistening in a muted glow. He realized that his curiosity had led him to a place he wasn't prepared to confront. Each line of text from Maya seemed to pulse with meaning, a silent accusation and plea intertwined. Could he trust her now, or had the half-forgotten chat window shattered everything between them? The question clawed at him relentlessly, impossible to ignore. The silence of the city outside only amplified the pounding of Ethan's heart. He imagined Maya sitting elsewhere, unaware of the turmoil she had unleashed, her expression a mask hiding countless untold truths. Every instinct screamed to close the chat, to retreat into ignorance, but his mind refused. Each secret she had unintentionally left exposed demanded attention, and he felt both terrified and exhilarated. The weight of knowledge pressed down on him, an invisible hand squeezing tighter with every second. Could he navigate this revelation without destroying their connection? Ethan's breath quickened as he scrolled through Maya's messages again. Each word felt heavier than the last, carrying the weight of hidden truths. He imagined confronting her directly, yet fear and anticipation warred in his chest. The apartment seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat, shadows stretching and shrinking like silent witnesses. Every instinct whispered both warning and temptation. Step back, or dive deeper into the truth she had unwittingly revealed. One wrong move, and the fragile thread between them could snap irreparably. A sudden notification made Ethan jump, the sound echoing sharply in the quiet apartment. Maya had sent a new message. His chest tightened, fingers frozen above the keyboard. Every thought of confrontation, trust, betrayal, and desire collided in a storm he could not escape. The half-forgotten chat window had become a threshold, one he had crossed, but now could not turn back from. Could he respond without exposing his own obsession? Or had his curiosity already doomed him to unraveling the fragile connection they shared? The cursor blinked impatiently, a silent reminder of choices he could no longer ignore. Ethan felt sweat bead on his forehead, hands trembling. Maya stared back from the video thumbnail, her expression unreadable, masking emotions he longed to decipher. The apartment was quiet except for the soft hum of electronics, the tension almost tangible. Each second stretched, each heartbeat louder than the last. The forgotten window had revealed truths, but now the cost was clear. Curiosity had ensnared him, and the next decision could change everything. Could he survive the consequences of what he had learned, or had the revelation already set the stage for inevitable betrayal? Ethan felt his chest tighten as he stared at the screen. The weight of Maya's secrets pressed on him like a storm. Every blink of the cursor pulsed with urgency. He realized he could no longer remain passive. The half-forgotten chat window had pulled him too deep. He took a shaky breath and typed, fingers trembling, each letter an admission of both fear and obsession. Outside, the city was quiet, the air thick and humid. His apartment, cluttered with papers and tipped coffee mugs, felt suspended in time. Could confrontation finally bring clarity, or would it ignite the betrayal he had feared? A response finally appeared from Maya. Ethan felt his stomach knot. Her words were measured, calm, yet loaded with implication. Every instinct screamed to retreat, yet his obsession anchored him. The apartment seemed to vibrate with tension, shadows stretching unnaturally across the walls. He read and reread her message, each line a potential confession, each pause a silent challenge. Could he face her without shattering what remained of trust, or was their connection already irrevocably fractured? Ethan finally spoke aloud, voice trembling. "Why did you close the window?" The words echoed in the silent apartment. Maya paused, her green eyes wide for the first time, revealing a flicker of guilt and vulnerability. The tension between them was electric, a delicate balance of fear, longing, and betrayal. Rain began to tap softly against the window again, matching the rhythm of his racing heart. Could she be trusted, or had the revelations already altered the foundation of everything they shared? Maya finally spoke, her voice soft but steady. Ethan felt a mixture of relief and dread. Each word she spoke peeled back layers of truth, revealing intentions he had never suspected. The half-forgotten chat window had been a doorway into honesty, yes, but also into betrayal, carefully hidden until now. The apartment seemed to hold its breath with him, the shadows heavy yet still. Could he forgive what he had uncovered, or had obsession already irreversibly changed him? The chat window finally closed, and Ethan sat back, trembling, staring at the empty screen. Silence filled the apartment, heavier than any words. He realized that the revelation, the confrontation, and the obsession had changed him irrevocably. Maya, her face lingering in his memory, had left him with the truth, and the knowledge that some betrayals, intentional or not, leave a permanent mark. Outside, the city moved on, indifferent. Ethan exhaled slowly, a question lingering in the quiet. Could he ever trust again, or was the damage already done?